Hi, and welcome back to Thoughtbot's AI in Focus. Today, I'm joined by Senior Developer at Thoughtbot, Rakesh Arun. Rakesh, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Chad. Glad to be joining this session.
So, for those of you who regularly watch the stream, we've been doing this thing where we're working with AI to generate code and help us build things as an exploration, both AI features in our Rails apps and existing apps and other kinds of apps, but also new things that we wanted to try with the tools that were coming out. Well, since we started, that has gotten a term for what that's called as vibe coding. And full disclosure, I think people react somewhat negatively, even more so to, like, we've been seeing negative reactions to using AI for coding at all. I think the term vibe coding has really started to bring people out of the woodwork in terms of real negative feelings. But it is what it is. I think we mostly say it tongue in cheek. I don't know about what you think, Rakesh.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, there's a lot of negative and a lot of meme videos based on vibe coding that tries to paint it in negative light. I think AI using AI and vibe coding to get something very quickly, like sort of like an MVP version of an app. AI is a really good tool, and vibe coding is not a bad way to do that. Hopefully, today's session will kind of inform us better if it's the right thing to do or not.
Right. So yeah, the way I view it is sort of like prototyping, spiking something out, getting a sense of what's possible, particularly if you're not sure how to do it. So that's what we're going to do today. You are a React Native developer at Thoughtbot, or developer who uses a lot of React Native. It's not the only thing you do. And I have done React Native a little bit, but as we saw from the setup, which happened before the stream, I haven't done it on this computer, so it needed to be set up entirely. So it's been a little while since I did it. But today we're gonna experiment. But you're not a game developer. I'm not a game developer either.
No.
So we have an idea for a game called PacBot, which is basically PacMan but Thoughtbot themed. So we're gonna try to create that. Should be fun. I actually have an idea which we decided is too difficult on this first pass, but it is if you have the Pac-Man game on your phone, being able to use the accelerometer to tilt Pac-Man moving around, sort of like one of those marble games that you might use in real life. But we need to use an actual phone for that instead of the simulator to really make it work. So it's too difficult today, but maybe we'll do that in the future. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
let me.
think I don't know what you think of the idea where maybe let's start with just using touch gestures to control Pac-Man to begin
Right.
with, and then move on to move on to using accelerometer if we have the time to do this.
Yes, I think that makes total sense. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. We're using Cursor today.
Yeah.
And the which we've been using on the stream. We're using it in full agent mode, which I believe is now actually the default. It used to not be the default. So the UI has changed a little bit, and now it's the full default. So we're going to use, so Thoughtbot created, and you're one of the people who worked on it, Rakesh, a framework called Belt, which is used for starting new React Native Expo apps quickly with a bunch of standards. If you're familiar with our suspenders framework for Rails, it's a similar kind of setup. It installs some default packages and default setups and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So this is something that typically takes like a day or two to configure if you start doing them manually. Each thing's setting up the right prettier configuration, linter, type configurations for TypeScript compiler and so on. But when you use Belt, you get like an acceptable default that you can just run one command and get it all set up by the end of the command.
Cool. So we're gonna generate our initial application using Belt. Now, I suppose we could actually ask Cursor, we want to create a new React Native application using Belt. But the command is right here. So I guess we might as well add that.
I am curious if it would have been trained.
You want to try it?
I would like to try
Okay.
and know if it knows about the Belt CLI.
Help create a new React Native application called PacBot using the Belt CLI and Yarn from Thoughtbot.
Nice.
Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's check if we have the necessary tools installed.
So what it's going to try to do is run belt -- version, which is not correct, right?
Yeah, it's not correct.
Right. I have a theory that by saying CLI,
it kind of assumed that the CLI has already been installed.
right.
I don't think we have a brew formula. It's
Right. So it's off the wrong track already. So good to know. We'll stop it. And we'll just create the. So we are, so here's actually our output. What Rakesh was talking about, it's going to do Expo with TypeScript, Prettier, ESLint, Jest setup for testing, React navigation, and TanStack query.
query. That's like an API client library. It's quite popular for making API requests. Any mobile app is going to reach for a server for any functionality eventually. So it kind of does a lot of caching and everything. It's a nice default to have. But it's probably not applicable for today's development, considering it's a game that we want to develop. But it's a nice default to have in any React Native project.
So it says it's installing dependencies. So it just finished. and it's successfully configured. It created a PacBot directory and it says cd into that directory and then yarn run iOS.
I really like that conclusion at the end of belt CLI. Your pants are now secure, considering it's belt CLI.
Okay, so it started the simulator and brought us to a splash screen for belt. Nice.
Yeah, this is the React navigation defaults. It kind of creates like a stack navigator and also a tab navigator so that you can switch tabs, settings, home, and about.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe considering that we are going to be building a game, we may not be having multiple screens and all these different tabs, and stack could be a distraction. Uh, Chad, what do you think about doing some kind of a cleanup where we remove some of these defaults and just have one screen on the
Okay.
app? Okay.
So I'm going to stop the server, I guess.
I think no, the server can
Oh,
continuously keep running.
oh, okay.
So you have this hot reload.
Yeah.
So any change that you make is going to reflect automatically on the simulator. You can type I if it'll directly open the
There we
iOS
go.
simulator.
Okay. So
We
actually,
are
let me
getting an
adjust
yellow.
my screen setup a little bit here to.
Yeah.
I can't make that any less wide. Well, we'll make do for now.
Yeah.
So we were gonna. Do we want to use the agent to try to clean that up?
We can try, but I'm worried that it'll delete the repo, like all the jokes that we keep reading online.
Okay, so you can drive here if you want to
Yeah.
take over and.
So this is like the default Expo code that is part
You're
of the
in
CLI.
pointer mode, not in.
Oh, I'm in pointer mode.
There you go.
So this is like the source code. In the source code, we have like a number of screens. These are all added by the CLI. Then we have the navigators. So as first step, I would examine this root navigator. Can we?
Okay.
Yeah, we seem to be having like there's one stack, and that stack is a tab navigator. So this is how you design tabs. So the basic stack that you see on the screen is a tab navigator. So it becomes like tab navigator is the default stack that you see. So what we do is we can probably delete this tab navigator. Let's we may looks like it's not connected. So whenever the app is not connected to the packager, you get this
Yeah.
yellow screen warning and you type R to reload. This is expected because we deleted some
Right.
code and it's not able to understand. It's not able to get
Right.
tab navigator
So I think
now.
we can delete line 5,
Yeah, let's do that.
and then we can delete. Do we want to delete the whole stack screen? Stack.screen?
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start. Yeah, okay. So we need to have a stack for a stack navigator. So a good way would be to let's so we have this home screen. This
Yeah.
home screen is what shows that belt defaults. And this is the screen, and then we have the screen content.
Yeah. Cursor was actually suggesting right here when you were here, it was suggesting this.
Yes, this is what I want to do.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. And
We
import
need to
home
import
screen.
home screen.
Oh wow, it's able to find the paths as well. The path from where to import. Yeah, I think this is what I wanted to
So, and
do.
it reappeared over here now.
Yes. So this way we eliminate all the tabs so that we have the entire screen area for developing the game, for the game content. One more thing I don't like is this home that is shown on the top. I believe there should be a way to control this on React navigation, so we can remove that. It should be in the same screen where we had the root navigator.
Oh, okay.
There should be some kind of prop that we pass to this. I either need to look at the documentation or let's ask cursor.
Navigation's header shadow visible. Okay.
I think it's title. There should be a prop called title that we can try for navigator.
Well, I'm noticing the name is home,
Oh, I see.
which is what's displayed there. So you think if we deleted it?
Yeah, let's try.
No. It must be a non-empty string.
Can we ask cursor?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to display the title in my stack. Oh, so when you do this, the entire code of root navigator is also passed, is it? Wow, this
So
was
it got
very
it. The header shown is false.
yeah. And that worked as well. We can see the header disappear
Right.
on the app.
So one of the things that I like about Cursor, and you said you usually use continue, which I haven't used recently, so I don't know if it's doing this, but like it's explaining what it's doing when it's doing it. So it is a good way to learn, because you can read it. You can see, I'll remove the title screen. I'll add the file to make the changes. I've added header shown false. So it's saying in prose what it's doing and gives you information about.
I really like this. I should start experimenting with cursor. And it
So then,
helps us avoid reading the docs.
right.
I know it's a nice thing as a developer to go read docs and find out what to do, but if everything is fed to this LLM and it's able to do it automatically for us, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things this does is it whenever it makes changes to a file, it wants you to accept or reject them. You can ignore that and it'll just build up the more things. But it is helpful to, I'm going to accept it so that it stops showing the diff.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Okay. When are we going to make the game, Rakesh?
Yeah, let's do that. I explored a few options and I felt like React Native Game Engine is is a good way to start building this. The library has been around for
Before we
quite
do that, let's ask if we're creating a PacMan game, is there a React Native game development engine that would work well?
Do you want to correct the typo? Oh, no, no problem. It found it.
Typo, schmipo. Phaser, Expose game engine, and React Native game engine is number one suggestion.
Wow, I didn't know Expo had a game engine, but yeah, React Native Game Engine seems
Well, it
to
might
be like
not. It might have just made that up.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's built on top of React Native game engine, it says.
Oh, I see. Can we quickly do a check and find out if something like that exists? It could probably be the same thing as React Native Game Engine, but the configuration will be much easier. Oh no, we don't see an Expo Game Engine. No.
It does. Yeah.
It works on Expo, but it's not an Expo game engine.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, it made that up.
So
apparently.
let's use React Native Game Engine.
Well, I was going to tell it to use Expo game engine, see what happens, but sure. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like vibe, I got to sit back in my chair a little bit, put my feet up on the back of my desk. Okay, let's use React Native game engine. Can we use Yarn
Nice.
instead? Okay. See, this is the thing where like if non-developers would probably never ask that question, right?
Yes. And you will end up with an npm log file and yarn log file, two log files on the
Right.
same repo.
Right. Okay, so now that we have the game engine installed, so it's remembering that we said we wanted to create PacMan.
Yeah.
We need a game board component, a PacMan character component, a game systems file for handling game logic. Let's start by creating a new directory for our game components.
Yeah, sure.
Source game components,
Can we see
source,
if those
source
directories
game
are,
systems. Those don't exist already.
they don't exist? Okay.
Right. Source does, and source components does, but
Okay.
not source game components.
So
We
can
could tell
we,
it just to put it in components.
yeah, let's do that. Wow, it created some files.
Yeah. So it's doing a lot now.
Wow. So I felt like this is where we prompt it to help us understand the code better,
Yeah.
so that we do it like step by step, so that after each step we have an idea of what changed and whether the app still builds and works well or not.
Right. So what it did was it did what we just the four things that it said. It did it automatically once we said let's put it in there. But what it did was it created the game board component, the PacMan component,
Right.
the dimension game systems file to handle the game logic, and finally let's update the game board component to use our systems and entities. Now we
Okay.
have a basic structure for our PacMan game. Here's what we've created: game board TSX, PacMan TXX, game systems TS. The next steps would be to implement the movement system for PacMan, add the maze layout, add dots and power-ups, add ghosts, implement collision detection, and add a scoring system.
Wow. It's kind of charting out a plan as well. And it's difficult to even come up with a better plan than this. So should we accept the code that it created and see what it looks like?
Yeah, sure. So source, components, game
Oh,
board. I wonder what
we are
these.
going to get problems like this with TypeScript. For some reason, LLMs are not able to generate perfectly working. Uh, I mean, TypeScript code
Yeah.
that the TypeScript compiler is happy about. Um, so I think it's okay. As long as the app builds, it should be okay. We can correct those and fix those errors eventually.
Okay. I'm going to. We have a Git repo. I'm just gonna add these files so we have the. Oh, it added a. Okay, that's fine. Oh,
Did
we need to
Cursor
go inside
automatically
PacBot.
add them?
What'd you say?
Did Cursor automatically add the files as well? Did it stage them?
Not. It doesn't do Git. No, not unless you tell it to do Git commands. It can, but we didn't tell it to.
Nice. Okay.
So one of the things I'm noticing is it didn't. I don't know. There's no home screen. There's no screens for this. It just did.
It added the components, but I think they both are not linked. So I feel like that should still be a manual process because it doesn't understand our entire navigation structure.
Uh huh.
So we can do that.
Okay. So if we go to Root Navigator and we change this from the home screen to the game board.
That should theoretically work. Like, is game board the root of this entire? Can we open game board? Is that where the game engine component is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should work.
Do we want to add it to the home screen or do we want to add it to the root?
I would like to add it to the home screen. So this
Okay.
way, the navigation is clear on where it's going to, which component is going to be executed, and then the home screen will in turn have the game engine. We
Okay.
can delete this whole JSX. Uh, it's just image and everything. Just have the
Look at what
retain
it's
the return.
suggesting.
Wow. Oh, that's a nice suggestion. Yeah,
Okay, but then we need to delete this stuff.
delete the rest of them. We may not even need the, what do you call that? Yeah.
We didn't import it. Oops. Oh, I started using Vim commands and it got confused.
Oh, okay. Oh, it could not be found because we installed the library and did not reinstall the app. So whenever
Okay.
we add a new library to the project, we need to reinstall the app so the native dependencies are part of the app that is built.
Okay.
So you can quit this, Control C the packager and run yarn iOS again. Can you try to reload by pressing R in the
Yep.
simulator? Okay, so unable to resolve React Native game engine.
We never ran yarn install. We added let's see what happens.
Yarn add should automatically do it. Can we check the documentation if things don't
There,
work?
it's there now. Check what documentation.
Check the documentation of React Native game engine to see if there are any additional steps to get this to work.
So
Yeah, npm, and that's it.
why is this called hand? Oh, the handbook is an example application.
That's an example. No, this is not the right repo.
Oh,
I
you're
think.
right. It's not. This is the handbook. Oh, look at this amazing games we're going to be able to create.
Yeah, those look nice. So it's simple. Just add the package and it's supposed to work.
Is it possible that it's getting confused? Because we've ended up in a situation where we have this PacBot directory, but then above it, we also have the original directory we started in, but that's just where belt is, right?
Yeah, that should not matter much.
Okay.
I think what matters is where React Native game engine was installed.
So it's interesting because this is not complaining.
Yeah.
So it's able to find it there.
So something with the build process. So typically when this happens, there are a few ways to solve, but the quickest would be to just uninstall this app.
Okay.
Uh, then I run a command. This is just to, I don't know if you have Watchman installed. Oh, you have Watchman. This just removes all the watches, and we don't have any watches anyways.
Okay.
And then run, let it install the app, build and install the app again.
Yeah, it didn't do this, but it didn't do that before. But
Oh, can we check the package.json of the project
yeah.
to see if game engine is part of?
Oh, that was the. Oh, see, look. Package.json here has it. Which
What?
one is this? This is the one that's outside of PacBot. It's the
Yeah,
one
no,
that's.
that's the wrong path.
So let's check the other one. Yeah, it's not
Not
there.
there. Oh, I see.
So when it added it, it got confused between the two package.json files, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we should again run.
Oh, what were you going to suggest?
Let's not do this, but instead uh, run a yarn add from within the directory, of PacBot.
Yep.
Yeah, now it has installed. Okay, different error. I'm feeling better. The game engine is installed at least.
Unexpected. Online game systems. I think this might have been what you were talking about by not generating working TypeScript code all the time because the ending comma
Yeah.
would be wrong.
So
Oh. Is there something else wrong with the format? Unexpected token.
I think the format is okay, but is there a PacMan component? There's no PacMan component. Looks like we need to import this component here. So there's the PacMan component here that I
Okay.
see, and game systems does not have information about that. So how about we import that?
It's listening to us.
Okay. Oh, I know why.
Oh, now it says it expected the.
So this is what vibe coding is all about.
Yeah.
Getting an error and trying to understand what output the LLM returned. I think because this is a JSX and the file is a .ts file, typically whenever you use React components,
Right.
the file should be a .tsx extension. I'm going to try this, but I'm not sure if it'll work.
Well, it's returning a hash. Create game entities is returning a hash. But. Oh,
And that worked.
nice. So it has a dot. That's PacMan. Look at that.
That's
There's
PacMan.
We're done.
Should
Okay.
we
How
ask
about,
questions
oh,
on,
go
yeah.
ahead. What were you going to say?
Should we start to ask it to render the board first? Or did it already give the
It,
code for the board and we are not able to see it?
no, it did not do anything for the board.
Okay.
So these are the 6 steps it was going to do next. So, first of all, let me commit this. Okay. So we could tell it that we want to do the board first.
Yeah.
Or we could say, okay, just do step number 1.
I don't think without the board, seeing a random yellow circle move around would be fun.
Okay.
Let's try to get the board.
Let's do the maze layout first.
Wow, ones and zeros.
This is an interesting approach. I think the ones are walls, the zeros are spaces.
Right. Wow, so much of code.
What for the Sally Hall who did the session a while ago? I'm seeing a board appear over here. When we were doing something, I was in a Rails app. We ended and she was like, "I feel like that code just happened to us."
Yeah. That is what it feels like. Like we don't understand anything that's going on, but there's some output that we are
Right. So
probably liking it.
I've created a basic maze layout for a PacMan game. Here's what I've done. Created a maze layout.ts file that defines the maze structure using a 2D array where 0 represents a path and ghosts can move. 1 represents a wall. Created a maze component that renders the maze layout using a grid system. Updated the game board component to include the maze and calculate the appropriate cell size based on the screen dimensions. The maze is now visible on the screen with blue walls.
I think the screen dimensions part did not work.
Right. It's missing
maybe a small percentage.
So should we tell it that the right side of the screen is the right side of the maze is off the screen?
Yeah, let's try. Or
I have an
did
idea.
you
Hold on.
anticipate playing this in the portrait mode, or maybe if we switch to landscape, all these problems will go away? Can you paste image to it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know this. Okay.
Let's fix this by centering the maze and adjusting its size to fit the screen properly.
This feels like the meme video that I watched today coming alive, trying to center things and eventually deleting the repo. Oh, it's centered, but still it doesn't fit fully on the screen.
Adding a 5% padding. I'm going to rotate to see.
Oh, it's not rotating.
Yeah, it's not rotating.
Maybe we can ask, can we?
Well, we didn't fix I don't want to move on to the next thing because we didn't fix the. One of the things it said is it added a padding using 0.95.
Shall we go to the code where it has added that? Change it to 0.9. Oh, now it's moving, still moving towards the right. It feels like the style is
Right.
somehow
I did
off.
notice that in here, or here, that didn't do anything.
That feels like the direction in which PacMan is supposed to move.
Okay.
That is the
Oh, that's
style for
Pac-Man.
PacMan.
We want the board.
Let's explore the other code that it created. Yeah, the board.
So it's getting screen height and screen width constants
Right,
from
from
dimensions.get
dimensions.
window.
Yeah. So it's getting the whole height of the simulator and the height width of the simulator screen area. And there seems to be like a maze width and maze height defined above. So
Yeah, there does. Where does that come from? Oh, here's the container. Styles container. Styles container flex 1.
so flex one means it's like we are asking it to use all available space.
Yep.
Oh, there's a position for game engine.
Yeah. But
But
it's absolute 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm going to check out the home screen because we put this on the home screen. Okay, style auto. That's fine. Screen content. I'm just making sure that there's not extra.
but I thought we replaced this whole screen, or did
I
we?
didn't. We did. We now. Yeah. We're not using home. We're not using.
Yeah, we are
Oh,
not
did we
using
just put it in the root? No, we.
It's being used. Okay, home screen in turn is calling home screen content.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can ignore the status bar. That's not going to do anything. And what's home screen content?
That's where we imported the game board, and it's
Game
just
board.
the game board.
It's
There's just a lot of extra stuff in the
Yeah,
file that we didn't delete.
those are unused, right? So do you want to clean up, or like maybe we don't need to clean up now.
That doesn't really fit the vibe, Rakesh. I can clean up.
Can we check now? It felt like it moved the game board. Still,
No,
it's
it was just the reloading indicator. Okay, if we go back to game board, so the interesting thing is the space on the left-hand side here matches the space on the right-hand side that's being cut off.
yeah. So it
It's like
feels
there's
like
a border around everything.
it's within some safe area limits that are defined by default. So
Right. So really, it's the fact that the dimensions aren't taking into account like the safe area, or the fact that when we move this to, like if we do 0.8, oops.
Oh, it reduced in size.
Yeah. Oh, it did. It's moving. It's right. It's left. It's right aligned.
Right. Oh, let's align the game board. So, okay, can you find where we have the game board? Let's put a view on top of game board so that everything gets aligned correctly. I think we used game board in home screen or
Yeah.
one of the other components.
Right
Yeah,
here.
let's put a view here. Oh, okay. I mean, let's accept it for now and see what happens. And import view from React Native.
Oops.
It made it a bit worse. Maybe let's remove all the.
Yeah.
Let's put just the align items centered and justify content centered. Oh, what's going on here? I think. Okay, can we put like a background color for this view to see the
Sure. Yeah.
scope of the view? This is how we normally debug.
Yeah.
Put a color and find out.
It's background color, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, that's what you get.
Okay, let's add back the flex one so that it uses all available space and then see. Wow, okay. Is it even talking to the packager and getting? Yeah, it's refreshing every time we make a code change.
We do have it. It is refreshing, but we do have this. The error is located.
Oh,
Align doesn't
align
exist.
doesn't exist.
I don't know when that's actually from. Okay, so that is an old error.
Okay. And flex start, it's usually flex. Oh, it worked. It's still not
It's
properly
still
aligned.
hold on one sec. Let's see what happens if we do end. No change.
No, it's usually flex end or flex start if you are using Flexbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's not moving.
Not working. And what's puzzling is it's not showing the background. Can we
Right.
can we remove the game board and find if it shows background? Okay, that's probably because it doesn't occupy any space yet. Maybe let's give it like some width of 100% and height of 100% as well, like this.
Still nothing.
Is this component even rendering?
How would you tell? The game, and when we had the game board in there, it was showing the game board.
It was showing the game board.
If you're watching in the chat and you think you might have the reason why, we could use the help now. We could ask the LLM, but it wasn't very helpful. We could also move on because it is showing the board now.
Yeah, I think percentages don't work on flex boxes, so it could
Right.
just be. I'm going to try with an absolute number. Why?
Well, with flex, it shouldn't matter at all, but
Okay,
oh,
so it works. Okay, let's use the screen height and screen width to occupy the entire space.
oh, wait, I know. It's not
Sorry.
flex, it's position flex,
No,
right?
on React Native style sheet,
Oh,
it's
okay.
usually flex.
Okay.
Flex is the way to do it. Yeah,
So then
position
let's
flex
change
is
this to
on
one.
the
What
web.
happens? Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. That's not working. So maybe a better way is let's use dimensions so that we
Mhm.
control this using dimensions. Dimensions dot get. Uh,
There's two options,
screen
window and
or
screen.
window. Let's do screen. Oh, I can't see my code.
Yeah, it's trying it's trying to, I don't know what it's doing. It's like a rendering error. It's really annoying.
Okay, so I'm going to undo that if that's okay.
Uh-huh.
Remove and probably add it at the start here. Get the height and width. Yeah, this is correct. Let's use width here and oh,
Yeah, it's because of the narrowness of the window.
okay. Now I think okay. Now it's using the whole screen. Let's get the board back. Put the game board back. Is it centered now? It's still not, but at least it's within the areas.
Well, if we go to the game board now, the game board is in a view already with styles container. And then
Oh,
it's inside of a maze container with a total width and total height, but it doesn't have, and it has a maze container styles. So if we go down here, maze container, position absolute, and then the container here is flex, align items center. No,
or justify content center.
justify content center. Nope.
Oh,
Flex start. Flex start.
none of that works.
So, okay, I think I see the issue. This is being done both left and right, but it is a fixed width element that has been computed. So by doing that, am I right? Oh, I thought by not setting. Oh, maybe the same is true, but with maze container. Okay. I'm getting my vibe harshed here, Rakesh.
Yeah, me too. It's shall we try to remove all the styles? Like styles may not matter that much. Remove one or try removing a few styles and see if things
Okay.
improve.
Well, before we remove the styles, we can remove the setting of the. Okay, that didn't change anything. That didn't change anything except
The background color.
right, which I actually like the black better. And
And
then
I
the
wonder
styles.
where the PacMan went.
Oh, that's not going to work. There's no difference to those things. Now styles isn't being used at all in this file.
I'm torn as well.
We could, if we,
Oh, that worked.
hey, look at that.
So it was overridden here.
Top. Oh, it was trying to center it.
Oh, the left part was causing everything.
Yeah. So now if we turn this back,
To 0.9, I
I
think it
think
was.
we can do 1 and it's going to work. No.
I think it returned 0.95.
Still a little off.
It's a bit tight.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, much better. Shall we remove the red color?
Yes, please. I'm not sure that we need this view anymore.
Let's remove it. Yeah. Okay. So we have a board that looks like the actual PacMan board.
Well, sort of.
Right. I wonder where the PacMan went. I thought initially we had a small yellow circle.
Yeah.
And this was used in another component. Game systems, yes.
I think when we added the game, we manually added the game board to the home screen. Where is create game entities being called?
It's not being called.
It's not being called.
It's not being used at all. Okay. Shall we ask cursor to do that?
Sure.
So when you ask this question, what code gets as input or what code is fed as input?
The whole project.
Oh wow. Okay.
Actually, here it's explicitly saying root navigator, but so it didn't really change anything.
Yeah.
Where is create game entities called?
I see that we need to connect to the game board component. Yeah, nice. Okay. So
it's there. It's there now.
there.
We lost our sizing.
Oh. But we know what changed, so we can maybe.
Maybe. Okay, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to accept it. We've got Git if we need to. Oh, we're no longer using that. So see how it put the styles back?
Right.
I think we can stop it from doing Well, actually, instead of that, we can, here, let's accept the file and actually, let's do, oh, it's not big enough.
And did you notice the PacMan is like not properly inside the board anymore?
Oh, did it mess up when I did that?
Yes, yes, yes. When you change the styles. Oh, even now it's not proper.
Yeah. I don't actually know what I didn't. Oh, I was missing one more thing. Position
Oh,
absolute.
yes. Okay.
Okay.
How did we solve this previously when we encountered this problem?
Yeah. What was that we did again?
I think we did not change things here, but rather in the place where it was being. I think we removed this top and left here.
Left right here.
Left.
And then
Change that to 0.9, the size.
okay.
Now the only problem is because we changed the board
Yeah.
dimensions.
PacMan doesn't.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So should we rather uh, ask the LLM itself to make these changes? Like I like say I want the board to be 90% the size rather than 95%, so that it can also make the corresponding changes to PacMan.
I want the board to be 0.9. I'll up to the scaling factor from 0.9 to 9 and adjust PacMan positioning accordingly.
Just the one change. Okay, now let's update PacMan positioning. Okay. Oh. That didn't
Let's
work. I didn't realize vibe coding is going to be this hard.
it's adding the left property back.
Oh no. Is that the only change?
That's the only change.
Oh,
Let's look at how PacMan is positioned because okay, so
Right. So there's the game engine and
Oh
then
yeah.
entities. And cell size is being passed as an input to create game entities. Maybe the cell size need to be updated to calculate it correctly.
So what it just did was it changed initial position to the floor of the initial position, which doesn't make any sense to me.
No, yeah, we should reject these changes.
Get out of here with your changes. Okay. And cell size is being set to 0.8.
There was no change other
There
than the
was no
comment
change. Right.
comment there. So maybe we can reject that change as well.
Okay. So if we where does initial position come from? Center
Oh,
horizontally near the bottom.
that didn't
Is
work.
that actually moving?
No, it didn't.
It's not doing anything.
Oh, can you reload the app? Sometimes with React Native Game Engine, it moved. It has moved to someplace
At
else.
some place, I don't even see it. So let's change this to. Oh,
Oh,
it's moving a lot more. Oh, you know what? It's moving. It's time. This number times the cell size. So going from 2 to.
so two was correct. I think with 2 and reload, it will be in the bottom.
Wait,
It's still not perfectly positioned.
right. So the X is centered horizontally. So it is not in the center of the screen for some reason. But it's pretty close.
And shall we reload it? That didn't change anything.
It
It's
did
only the
change the
size.
size of PacMan just a little bit.
Oh, just the size of PacMan.
Yeah.
Okay. What if we keep it at just cell size instead of cell size into 0.8? I feel like that would perfectly fit it in. I
Yeah.
think it's fine now.
That is. So that's the issue is it's shrinking PacMan, but not readjusting PacMan in the cell. So when PacMan
Yeah,
gets shrunk, it's okay.
that's correct. I think I'm okay with this to start with. So we have the Pac-Man on the board.
Okay.
The next step is to try to move the Pac-Man.
Okay.
Can we do one thing like, can we let it not modify the changes that we made or overwrite them? Uh, is there a way we can inform or make cursor do that?
What do you mean? Not put those styles back, for example?
Yeah, that especially the left that we deleted. The left style in I think in game
Right.
board, right? Hopefully it doesn't do. Let's
Yeah,
see.
hopefully it doesn't. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it's just focused on the movement system. It extracted the PacMan size. Okay, I've implemented movement for PacMan with the following features. Swipe in any direction to make PacMan move that way. PacMan will continue moving in the current direction until a new direction is chosen.
Oh, okay.
Smooth movement between grid cells, wall collision detection, grid aligned turning. PacMan will only turn when aligned with the grid. Continuous movement in the current direction. Visual feedback. PacMan rotates to face the direction it's moving.
Wow.
Movement speed is set to 0.2 grid cells per frame. Collision detection prevents PacMan from moving through walls, keeps PacMan within the maze boundaries. Let's see if it's working.
Yeah. Okay, at least the code.
How do I?
Yeah, that's how you swipe. I think you're doing it right, but it's not working. Can we look at the changes it made?
Yeah.
Could just be.
All right. Here's the really. So in Route Navigator, it didn't make any changes. In Game Board,
It's not showing any changes, right?
it's not.
It says
Here
66 lines changed. Okay.
plus 66 minus 1. It's almost like it just reformatted something.
I see.
But this one has
A change. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. 4 directions as types.
Mm-hmm. Here's where it did. So here, you see how it's like not hooked up to anything? It just says handle movement logic here.
Oh, right. Okay. Can we add a console log there? Do we have to accept the changes in order to make some?
We don't.
We
No.
don't, right? Okay. Let's add a console log and see if we get any feedback out of it. So there's a movement system that has been built.
Where does the console show up?
It's the same place where you have the packager running. So it looks like it's not hooked to the view, or I don't know
Right.
how the movement system works. So there's something called systems.
Oh, here is that movement system before is like an old one.
Oh, I see. I see.
Create game movements is never move.
Oh, I see 2 game systems. It's confusing now. In your file system, did it?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
There's
TS
a
and
TSX
TSX.
and
It messed up these two.
mm-hmm.
I think we have to unify them and kind of. Maybe we should instruct Claude that do not create TS files and let all the components be TSX. So what we do is, uh, did we have anything useful in this,
in the TS one.
in the TSX one? Because that is our old code.
I don't even know, man.
Okay, let's copy the contents of the .ts that Claude generated and
Yeah.
put it in .tsx and delete the .ts file.
Well, that's where the old. No, I think we should. we should we should delete the .ts file
Okay, let's do that.
because it put the new movement system in the .tsx file.
Okay, nice. Then let's test it.
So it's not going to work.
Oh, because it's not hooked. Okay.
I think it is hooked up, but so game systems. Okay, hold on. Let's accept this stuff. I'm going to accept the whole file.
Okay.
I have a theory. PacMan is in a wall.
Oh, let's change the default position.
So let's see, is valid move, check if the position is within bounds. Check if the position is a wall. Create game entities.
So can we find the initial position of PacMan? Can we reload the app? I think that will put PacMan back to the bottom of the board.
It's putting it, the initial position got moved. Oh, that's what it used to be, but now it's. Can we add that console log? Where's a good place to put it?
Yeah. Let's find out the part where it shows the touches. Yeah. Can we put it above line 64? Let's just put console log for touches.
Oh.
We are getting feedback. So the touches are being registered.
Okay, so now let's verify my is valid move.
We can put a console log above that as well. Like copy that whole statement and put a console log above that line. We are going to get. Shall you remove the touches console log, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's another if condition above that.
Oh,
Maybe
you're right.
It's not hitting that.
If PacMan position Y minus the speed times the cell size.
Whoa.
And Y speed cells X. Try to move in the next direction if we're aligned with the grid. I'm gonna just.
Yeah, not aligned. I think you were right about PacMan being locked in a wall, and that's why it's not moving.
Right.
So.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, which is like, it's weird stuff that it's doing, like reverse calculating the cell size. PacMan dot size. It's like, why do we need to do that? I don't know. It's just.
I don't know either. It's the code that's returned.
PacMan size, cell size times 0.8. And then we have the initial position. So this floor here, we ended up not wanting that previously. Okay, but that didn't matter. So then, remember this was...
Can you reload the app, Chad,
what?
after making that change? Sometimes... Oh, it moved!
Did you see that? It moved right into the wall.
It moved and hit the wall.
Let's reload it again just so we can see it. Oh, it starts over there.
Yeah.
Then it
And
hit the wall.
and it cannot move after
But it's
that.
going one more than it should.
Yes.
Oh, that was
Maybe we can
exciting.
talk to the AI and say that the PacMan is. I'm worried that it will return back all the old code with all the bugs that we just solved.
It shouldn't do that. So let's make sure that we accept everything. Okay. Initial movement. Okay. Would you like me? Okay. PacMan moves all the way to the right and then goes one cell too far into the wall.
Nice.
I should maybe have said something like, can you help fix that? But
So when you ask this question, it will always use the latest code in the repo, right? To
yeah, as far as I know. So it's putting back the math.floor.
I see.
Which I don't really get why.
Oh, I have a feeling it's trying to round it down to the nearest whole number.
Maybe. So fix the initial position calculation to use MathFlow. Add a proper direction prop to the PacMan render. Improve grid alignment detection using absolute difference instead of modulo. Added position snapping when hitting a wall to prevent partial wall penetration. Made the collision detection more precise.
Okay. Can you run? You can run yarn start for
Oh, it wasn't
subsequent
running.
times. Yeah, both should work. Yarn iOS should also work. And reload once. Yes.
That didn't
And
work.
oh, that didn't work.
It didn't. It's doing exactly the same thing.
And this code is in a state where it's impossible for developers to immediately read and understand
Right.
and find out what's wrong. It's not properly refactored. It's not properly written by using reusable functions and things like that.
Right.
It's so hard to read for a normal developer.
Okay. I have an idea. I'm gonna accept all the changes since it basically worked the same way. Then I'm going to add a log. Looking at this of the current X and the current Y, I'm going to log that. So now it's just looping 1915
Yes.
all over again.
So it should probably stop at 18 and change directions.
Right. So then it is aligned with grid. Try to move in the next direction if we're aligned with the grid. Is valid move. Next or X, next or Y. So is valid move. Oh, okay. is the X and Y. Check if the position is within the bounds. So if grid Y is less than 0, or grid Y is greater than maze layout dot length, and grid
Shall we add a
X.
console log of grid X and grid Y to make it easier to understand what's going on?
Sure.
Yeah, that line would be the right place.
We're going to need to. We need to reload.
So, and maybe if you scroll up a bit, it'll stop
Okay.
showing all the logs.
So it's.
Maybe you can just stop the
Yeah,
server.
okay. So the grid is 20 by 15. So yeah, the grid is 20, and we know that it's 9. So grid and the maze is 17 and 20. Is this as simple as adding -1 to both of these?
Or removing the less than or equal to make it.
Oh, right.
But let's see. No.
No. Check if the position is a wall.
Nice.
Not so nice, but
No,
out of
that's a good
bounds.
way to try and debug.
Okay.
So it's out
So
of
it is going out of bounds.
It's able to realize it's going out of bounds, but not able to correct the direction
Right.
before it happens.
So 19 and 15. And you can see then, so the grid, grid goes to 20 and 15,
It
goes
should.
out of bounds. Then grid goes to, right, yeah. So Josiah is saying the same thing. Why is the grid changing from 19 to 20 right there?
Yeah.
And because we're vibe coding, I have no idea.
I have no idea as well.
I mean, really, this is what coding is in general. 50%, 75% of the time, you have no idea until you figure it out, and then you move on and you forget how you got there in the first place.
In this case, we expected the AI to help, but probably the calculations and the math involved here are too complicated for it to get it right. It's now stopped.
Yeah, now it's not. Oh. Yeah, now it's not moving at all. So it's just constantly out of bounds no matter what, which makes me realize this might be, yeah, this is the grid, not the pixels. If we did, yeah. It should be getting to check if the position is a wall at one point.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this check of finding if it's within bounds. Can we ignore that and see what happens if we remove that if or comment that if temporarily so that it only checks if it's wall or not?
Oops. And then we're going to need to wrap up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, nothing changed. Oh, Chad, can you restart and just immediately swipe up? It's going to be hard, but oh, did you
I
see that?
swipe to the left and to the right
So it moves until
until it gets to the wall.
wall. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, it moves. Oh,
oh,
it's probably the board. It's something to do with the board alignment.
does it
Can
go
you
into
move
the
up?
other wall? Ah, aha.
It's moving,
Oh,
and it's moving exactly within the grid.
yeah. It goes to the right
Oh,
more than one.
it's a matter of the board not being painted correctly. I think now it'll move up if you try. It doesn't.
No. Uh,
Oh, it's not working properly when you move up because it's a view.
I think no. It is. It's stuck. So if I can get it timed right there, see, it did
Oh,
work.
it always gets stuck when it goes to the right, but other
Yeah.
places are okay.
Right.
Okay.
So Josiah is saying, where is invalid move being called? So let's check
It's
that. It's being called in two different places, actually. So the first time is aligned with grid when we're trying to handle the touch. And it's the current grid plus the next direction X and the current grid plus the next direction Y. And then the second time, check if next position is valid before moving.
right. I think it makes sense. When you're trying to change direction, you don't want to change it in a direction where it's invalid. So it's checking at that point. Otherwise, it's checking when it's continuously moving.
If next position is invalid, snap to the grid. What if you times the Pac-Man size by the radius of Pac-Man? Josiah says. Well, I think we're pretty much out of time at this point. Okay. Let's recap. We did. I'm going to stop this. This is distracting. We did get a Pac-Man board with a Pac-Man who is sort of able to move around based on our touches. And we definitely ended up in a place where we don't understand enough of the code to make intelligent changes. And
Yeah.
the LLM, when we tried, wasn't able to fix the problems.
Yeah, that pretty much summarizes our experience.
Well, thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. Next week, I'm going to be joined. We're going to be back on the React Native train with another developer at ThoughtBot. Tomi is going to join, and we are going to explore more sort of game development in React Native, is my understanding. Wait, actually, no, we may be doing something more practical.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna make a React Native regular application. So whatever we're gonna do, I hope you tune in to watch it. We're both from Thoughtbot. We're a design and development consultancy. We help people make more progress on their applications than we were able to make today, generally speaking.
Definitely. We
what-
don't vibe code.
Yeah, we don't really vibe code. We do use AI when it's going to help us, but we don't vibe code like this. But it was fun, Rakesh. Thank you for joining me,
Thanks, Chad.
and thank
Thanks
you all for
having me.
watching. Feel free. We're here pretty much every week, so definitely subscribe, and we appreciate the comments and the watching. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.